Welcome back this afternoon to this edition of the Talk Shop from Studio 255 in the Laramie Plains Civic Center. I bring you our next guest, Dr. Vincenti. Good morning and good day and good afternoon. We've done it all yesterday, today. You're back again. You had so much fun. We're doing it again.
Oh.
Right here, right here. And Bridging the Gap conference, Bridging Gaps,
as the result of the problem, the consequence of the problem, so that we aren't just looking at the symptoms, but we try to figure out what's really underneath.
The full title of this event, Bridging Gaps, Collaborative Approaches to Food, Finances, and Housing. And it's coordinated by two special groups. Tell us about those groups.
Well, they are professional groups of our lives are not completely separate. They're interdependent. And so we want to recognize that. If you treat them separately, you're more apt to not really be able to prevent problems that relate. You're more apt to be putting Band-Aids on them.
Well, this is a conference atmosphere, this
Right.
entire event and this entire registration, all the information, all the detail. But you have the opportunity as a registrant to be considered for a waiver of registration or scholarship, if you will. And tell us about that opportunity.
Well, we really have worked hard to try to keep this affordable because we'd like to have anybody feel like they could get in to the conference and to ideas for preventing and solving problems.
Everyone is welcome to be a participant.
That's right.
But the April 1st deadline for early bird registration is also one for posters and displays. What's available for display purposes for the public to consider?
Well, if somebody wants to have a display of something that's three-dimensional, that you
5th and 26th, there'll be speakers, panelists, tours, simulation experience, door prizes, and community service projects. You had a finger raised. What else did you have to add?
Well, I'm trying to remember what I was going to say.
If I wouldn't have kept talking, you would have had every bit of that detail expressed. Let's talk about some of the goals while you're thinking about that. You will gain an understanding of these interconnected
doctoral program. And I really know that in our field, we have to think holistically. And you're not just teaching people facts or skills, but put it in context and also consider the values and how it affects relationships, how all these things. So part of this is if you're going to prevent problems, you have to encourage people to think long term and not be controlled by their immediate impulses.
Okay, we're going a little deeper here. What are some of the most common connections between food, finance, and housing that do help bridge the gaps?
Well, first of all, I would say that those are in the news house. And in another program I was involved in, I interviewed some mortgage lenders, and they said, oh my word, we see people coming who want to buy a house, and their spending is out of control. And so that kind of connection that you got to think, if they are thinking about big dreams of what they want to do later, it's not too soon for them to start a savings account and think if you, and when you're a teenager, save $100 in 30 years or 20 years or 40 years, depending on your goal, that can, without
for as long as I could stand it, and I would have plenty to retire on. And it was sage advice. It was absolutely wonderful, the time value of money. We're talking with Dr. Virginia Vincenti, Bridging Gaps, Collaborative Approaches to Food, Finances, and Housing. This conference, April 25th and 26th in Laramie at the University of Wyoming College of Business. Virginia, who makes this possible? Who makes all of this come together, not only the volunteers perhaps or the professionals, but sponsors. Who do you have?
Well, the Wyoming Department of Education's Career and Technical Education team has provided some grant money for us. And also then we have Wyoming Department of Family and Consumer Science is also providing some support for this.
Fantastic. Well, you brought a lot of material, both this time and the last time. What did we miss? If we missed anything, what would you like to repeat if we missed nothing?
Well, I'd like to say that people sometimes don't want to get into the registration form because they haven't made you hear the details of the program. Here are the different cost options, including for students.
Students, you get a discount.
Yep, they do. And there are professional development credits that educators can get, and that's indicated in there. There's a link to hotel discount. We've really worked hard, and that's why we're not using a hotel for the base. We're using the Civic Center and the University College of Business, because if we'd done this in a hotel, it would have cost a lot more, and we want to make it accessible to people.
Well, thank you to the Laramie Plains Civic Center and the University of Wyoming here in Laramie. Thank you. Exploration. Enjoy your adventure.